the preservation of the American Poultry Association and the standard perfection is huge. It's really, really big. The most productive size and shape are chosen for their purpose. Breeds can be relied upon to consistently produce a product within a system in an efficient manner. When you breed a Plymouth Rock male and a Plymouth Rock female, amazing, you get a Plymouth Rock progeny. All right? When you breed a Freedom Ranger to a Freedom Ranger, if it can kind of sort of reproduce, you end up with something you go, I could have never predicted that. Every breeder should have his or her own copy of a standard. Okay? The third quality is production. Now this is big. Production characteristics includes meat and eggs. Now I cover this, we're doing a coaching clinic that's 2 days, October 1st and 2nd in Salisbury. And we take this much deeper. We could spend 2 days on just this. And that needs to just be with people who are living and breathing, okay? But let me just hit on it. So, rate of growth on the meat qualities, we're talking rate of growth. So we're weighing them at 8 weeks and 16 weeks. Okay? That's what we mean by tracking for meat production. I also put the live weight and the dressed weight. For those of you who, and I probably should put this into the notes, on average, a chicken, about 1.5 to 2 pounds of live weight becomes feathers and guts. So basically, I say if I have a 7-pound bird, I just plan it's going to dress out about 5 pounds. Turkeys, 4 pounds of feathers and guts. It's a lot, huh? So a 28-pound bird will probably dress out about 24 pounds. Okay? So, do not process your Delawares when they are 3 pounds live weight. I don't think you'll sell very many. Okay? They'll weigh a pound. So you got to kind of keep a pulse on it. All right? And then in the dress weight. Now, let me tell you something else on this. And I am giving you a bunch of brand new stuff that all of our breeders are bringing back, and I get to tap into the deep well of what everyone else is learning. Okay? If Steve is raising Cornish cross, you get a 4-pound bird at how many weeks? 10 weeks. Okay, 4 pounds at 10 weeks. If Sharon is getting a Delaware to 4 pounds at 17 weeks, let's talk about the difference. What comes to mind when you look at those time differences? Feed is huge. Okay? What else?
No way to keep up with the Cornish cross grower. I mean, if you're the heritage grower, you're 7 weeks behind every...
Okay. You're behind.
You also have to, for us, that means we have to manage them on the pasture for 7 weeks.
Absolutely. That's totally legitimate. Okay?
Going out there feeding them every day. They get that fence every day. They get that house for that whole year.
Yeah. The 2 biggest things that you address with this is time and feed, and they both involve money. So, you have to figure this out in the marketing piece. If this Delaware, we still want slow growth. And we're selling, this is a huge marketing piece, is the slow growth. But let me tell you something. When Sharon says, Jim, 4 pounds, I can't even get my Delawares to 4 pounds in 17 weeks. Some of our guys, it's taking 20, 22. I'm like, you can't make any money adding even 3 weeks on. Plus, I mean, so we have this huge uphill battle with these heritage birds. So it's critical that Sharon learns how to, the only way you get, if this 4-pound bird is taking 22 weeks instead of 17, it's all about genetics. Secondly, it involves a feeding program. But you can do all kinds of feeding program changes. If the bird is not growing at the proper rate, she's going to say, I'm done. Give me a Freedom Ranger. I'm going back to Cornish cross. I'm backsliding. Do you see some of the issues we face here? So breeding for production qualities. Let me tell you something. Ideal hatchery that sold 6 million chicks doesn't care if your Delaware reaches 4 pounds in 17 weeks. They're just moving chicks out the door. And so until we have breeders who go, okay, this is a huge, huge dilemma. If we're going to get the Delaware back to what it was in 1950, we've got work to do. Okay? Now, if you think, and this has happened over and over and over, that you get 100 Buckeyes, you hire me to coach you, you join our mentoring program, and I mentor you, and in a year you go, I can't make money on this. I go, I was not clear in warning you that we have an uphill battle, we got work to do. Okay? Now, that's on the meat side. Now on the egg quality side, okay? I put their egg production qualities, molting, amount of eggs laid per year. Okay, somebody referred to it out of the fence. Okay? I want to be able to ask Jennifer, what's the average black Australorp lay a year? Okay? She should be, historically, in good production, a black Australorp should be about 240 to 260 eggs a year. There's a book listed in my top 10 called The 300 Eggers. It's a study about a leghorn flock up in Washington State. It's awesome. And who doesn't? A leghorn that's true to breed. 300 eggs a year sound really good. All right. And so, but the only way Jennifer can, there's a couple things that she can do to track the egg production. But the ideal way, I'll throw this out to you, you're going to go, that won't work in my house. All right? The ideal way is what we call trap nesting. It's all over the history book. Trap nesting, Jennifer has Australorp number 84. She goes into the nest. Boom, door closes behind. She lays her egg. She's used to the door closing. It happens all the time. All right? She's like, well, okay, privacy. She lays an egg. She turns around. She can't get out. She can't get out until Jennifer comes, opens it up, and goes, leg number, what I call it, 84? 84. She has an egg production chart. Number 84. It's on a calendar she laid today. Boom, she goes out. Those nesting boxes have to be checked on the minimum of every 2 hours. My work in Western Piedmont is you got lovely servants all over the place. Okay? All right? Unless you're a full-time farmer and you work as a family or whatever, you can't really do trap nesting. But let me tell you, with the Buckeyes, they are terrible in production. We've got work to do with them Buckeyes. They're a great meat carcass right now. We put, out of these two, meat qualities and egg qualities, we've done a great job of creating a carcass out of a Buckeye. All right? But as Cal Larson says, the old poultry vet from Virginia Tech, guess what? If they don't lay eggs, how are you going to multiply them? You better find girls that produce eggs. How do we do that? And you don't do it by go ahead, just throw my birds out there and she's laying them. All right? You got to figure out a system. All right? So, vigor, APA standard qualities, production qualities. That's it. Everything falls under one of those three. Okay? And so, most important step to getting started is high quality breeding stock. Okay? Now, here's my ideal. I get this question. I'll come back to this for toe punching. But here's my ideal. If you're like saying, I want to breed. By the way, Rocco, thanks for the fan. That's helping me greatly. I really should quit moving around for the video and for my own sweat, but I'm just really excited. This is my recommendation to you. Buy as many chicks or poults of one breed as you possibly can. All right? Now, 2 years ago, I would have said, you can start with 50. When Pat came in and said, Jim, I want to join the network and I want you to mentor me, I said, a minimum of 100 birds. Okay? So here's what happens. I'll use Pat as an illustration. If you ordered 100, ended up with how many? 95. Okay? These 95 birds, typically you can plan for 50% male-female ratio. Okay, so potentially I've got 50 females. Okay? Somewhere between 12 and 16 weeks, all right, we're going to cull the males. Yesterday, is that yesterday? Yesterday at Pat's, she had probably 30 to 40 males. We selected 6 of them. All the rest are going bio. And I walk her through, we look at APA qualities, we look at all the production qualities. They're a little bit young, and so the process is not complete. Okay? So let's say that let's just say there were 30 males and there's going to be 70 females. That's a really good ratio by the way. Okay? Typically I get the call, hey, I got 80 males and 20 females. All right? 70 females. The larger the gene pool in setting up your breeding pens, the better. Because what happens is, you got some old timers say 10%. So 10 out of 100 birds are breeder quality. You want 20 breeders? You need 200 birds to select from. 30, 300. You do the math. Okay? It's a lot of birds, and that you'll need to. So the more you start with, the better the gene pool is going to be for you to establish your breeding pool.
What is the average price of buying these birds from breeders? I mean, if you're buying these peeps and tail peeps, what range of starting price are you looking at?
Our farmers range from $4 to $8 a chick. Okay? Now, what's the cheapest you bought them at a hatchery? Somebody tell them. $1.25. I've lost track of how many farmers did not take my advice and called me a year later and said, why didn't I listen to you to begin with? Because they started off with junk. All right? From a hatchery or something like that. So you seek out a mentor. There's plenty of mentors out there. And at 16 weeks for chickens and 24 weeks with turkeys, select the breeders. Set up a minimum. I put under there 3 to 5 breeding pens. I'm going to use Pattis because we did 6 males yesterday. Let's just say she has 70 females. Okay? You're doing 4, aren't you, Pat? So it's going to be pen 1, pen 2, pen 3, and pen 4. Okay? Let's just say out of those 6 males, we're going to select the top 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pen 1 is going to have the best male. And let's say we end up with 10 of the very best females. Okay? This will be, I'm still going to use 1. This is basically quality or breeding pens. 1 male here. Let's say we found 12 birds here. 1 male here. And these are the cream of the crop. These are still breeder birds, but pen 2. These are breeder birds as well. And let's just say we put 20 in here. And let's also say Pat has opportunities to sell a lot of chicks. So we're going to put a male here and maybe 25 females here. But she's decided she's not going to keep any of these P4 birds in her project, in her offspring. Well, let's say she is. Either way. Okay? The second year, or selection year number 1, I say, Pat, 50 birds out of here, 50 here, 50 here, 50 here. The minimum. If you can do 300 here, 300 here, you're increasing and improving your gene pool rather significantly.